How to know if your girl is cheating? The truth is, you do. You're just in disbelief. Majority of men, in fact, a huge percentile of men truly know when their girl is cheating or not. As men, we have intuitive duties. There are things we feel intuitively. For instance, if someone walks through the door, your masculine tendency is to jump up and protect every single person in your presence, regardless whether you're weak or not. The masculine tendency is to stand up. For instance, if you're with a woman on a date, the masculine tendency is to pay for that date. Now, this refutes natural principles like this refutes the dogma imposed on modern society. Women says, I make my own money, I want to pay my own bills. And the men says, I want to be stingy, or if you pay for the dish, you're somehow a sin. Yes, unfortunately, our world is filled with nuances. If you're a guy spending thousands of dollars on the first date, it is stupid, which is something we'll talk about in a different discourse. We are going to talk about how much is justifiable, how to go about the first date, the first thing you should do in the first date. In the first date, you should keep it very simple. Unfortunately, most of the pictures you see online are heavily edited. There was this girl I met, beautiful model. I invited her out to coffee. On my way there, I didn't have a car at the time, so some drunk driver splashed water on me. I had to go back and change. Long story short, I booked an Uber, arrived at the location, got into the conversation with the lady in front, the driver, and immediately arrived at the location, paid her off, gave her a tip, looked at the lady, give me my change, I said. Hand me my change. She finally leaves. Now I'm sitting down waiting for this girl. 5 minutes she doesn't show up. 10 minutes she doesn't show up. I'm getting pissed off now. I'm getting mad. He finally shows up. Hi. Disappointed as hell. I'm glad we met in an open space where the dinner date was about $20 to $30 or so. I invited her out. For coffee. So $20 to $30 and we are done. Had I overinvested, not just financially but emotionally, there are some dudes out there who would obsess over going on a date with a lady. They will do the countdown. Some will even go as far reminding her consistently in her DMs. Remember we're going on a date next week Thursday. Remember we're going on a date next week Thursday. The next day, 5 days to our date, 6 days to our date, 4 days to our date. And that obsessive nature repels her eventually. If you put a lady on a pedestal, you're never going to get her. If you treat her like a celebrity, she will treat you like a fan. It's a philosophy, an age-old philosophy you should have sustained by now. So don't put women on pedestal. We are diverging. The main discourse of today is to how to ascertain if your woman is cheating or not. If your woman is cheating, the universe tells you you're just too oblivious, too infatuated, stupidly in love to not see the red signs. One of the reasons, as I'm a very unique individual, I attack problems by the cause, not the effect. Most guys would say, how do I get my girl to give me her Instagram password? How do I get my girl to respect me? All of those are effects of a larger action. There are things you do to inspire respect. By the time you're going to the gym, working as hard as possible, she goes to take a piss at 4 a.m. in the morning and you're on your laptop. Subconsciously, it builds respect. The opposite is equally as probable. when you're always begging for it, always all over her, texting her consistently as though she's the only thing that makes sense in your life, which is the case. Subconsciously, she begins to lose respect. I want you to understand that every single person operates on a very unconscious level. So there are things we do unconsciously. Every single thing we do is unconscious. So your conscious influences the conscious. If you tell yourself, this girl is out of my league, it's impossible for me to get her, those kind of statements, what it eventually does is, whenever you see those quality of women, you would stay away, you would steer clear, and even if they approach you in turn, you would fidget or portray a character that repels that overall, reinforcing your entire philosophy. But the truth is, it's not money or it's not absence of finances or whatever quality you believe you lack. That's the problem. The real problem is the mindset. Most people stay in those kind of relationship because of a scarcity mindset. I got this girl by consuming content on Ifeanyi Ernest, selling her the idea I'm working on something big, utilizing all AI tools at my disposal. I watch videos on how to make a girl laugh, how to flirt. I watch all of these videos in order to sustain this relationship, in order to make this person stay. And you're saying I should throw all of that out the trash just because she cheated. Unfortunately, most people are not man enough to acknowledge this fact. For the reasons I stated, you are in disbelief. I recount years ago when my cousin shared this idea. In China, they sell an iPhone 11 Pro at the time for $20. At the time, I wanted to pay. In hindsight, it looks very ridiculous. But the situation at the time, I truly wanted it to be true. And I was willing to risk $20 in order to find out. You see, you and I might look at that scenario. Now, it's obviously a scam. If that was the case, some crazy entrepreneur would buy out all their products and sell it for 10, 20 times the price. So it's obvious to us. But in that scenario, you truly want it to be true. It's the same thing with various ruses, various scams. Men who get into relationship with women online, especially Africans who are known for their fraudulent impersonations. The white guys understand intuitively it's impossible with this whack profile, with my low income, to attract a model as hot and as stunning as this lady. Yet they stay. Why is that the case? Why is that the case? Why do they stay? They want it to be true. So the real question when you ask yourself, how do I know if my girl is cheating? It's not, there are no tricks, there are no tactics. Of course, there are things I can tell you, the examples, the analogies, there are references I can make. But ultimately, you truly know when your lady is cheating. Most of you are not just are not just not a man enough to confront her about it. Most of you can't even stand your ground. Why is that the case? For analogies or for the reasons I just stated, most of you are going to be gaslighted into believing you're the problem. Ah, why are you complaining? I just went to his house. Ah, why are you complaining? It's just a blowjob. I didn't even suck it well. I didn't even enjoy it. And why are you complaining? We just had 3, 4, 5 drinks. Oh, don't worry, it's fine. As long as you didn't enjoy it. What kind of response is that? That is disgusting at its core. So one of the ways you know your girlfriend is cheating is she has lost respect for you. That's, I'm giving you the tactics involved in the game. She has lost respect for you. arguing, nagging. If a lady really cares about you in a relationship, she's going to be feminine. If the case is otherwise, she would be masculine. So how does a feminine lady handle problem? She's quiet. She serves your meal cold and moody. What's the problem? Nothing is fine. And you coerce her into revealing the problem. She finally opens up. This is, you explain your own end, or shut up, bitch. I'm going to sleep with other women. Deal with it. Conversely, if a lady doesn't like you, she's masculine in the relationship. How do masculine people solve problems? How do you solve problems, or how do you confront issues as a man? Through nagging, through violence. Unfortunately, violence is the bottom line of every disagreement on the earth. You just manage to put layers on top of it. If someone comes to your land and say, give me this property, no, it's not yours. You call the court, and if the person do not show up in court, they send a fine, and if he does not pay the fine, they come to attack your house, and if you do not come out or comply willingly, you lose your life. So the bottom line of every single thing is violence. All we've managed to do is put layers. The same thing with your lady. The bottom line is violence. Why is doing this? And she's just nagging and shouting. My friend, if a lady truly respects you, all of the things you're going out to outsource, or all of the individual problems you are desperately trying to solve, how to get her Insta password, how to make sure she doesn't have male friends. If a lady truly respects you, all of those are byproducts. I'll be on the game. One of my 10 wives comes to confront me. So what team are we supporting? That's how it is. She naturally likes what you like. That's how the game is played. So nobody is going to respect you if you do not respect yourself. You respect yourself by abstaining for things out of respect to your personal self more than the external strictures. Behold yourself. Come to hold yourself in awe. And respect is a byproduct. A king respects himself and inspires the same sentiments in others. But as long as you're vulgar and common, you'll be treated as such. To respect yourself, you must be man enough, you must be securing yourself to look at the relationship. Nah, this is not it. We've come to an impasse. If you keep being a 304, if you keep going against my principles, I'm going to call it off. And most men, you must be willing to stand by what you say. The reason most people do not make these statements, let alone come through when it necessitates, the scarcity mindset. Will I find anyone else? Is it possible? In fact, most men, once they recount the level of shit, level of stress underwent to get this bitch, they just give up. They don't want to undergo that same degree of pain. Unfortunately, for some, is investment. They've invested in this lady so much. It's not something, or they're not willing to cut their losses. For as long as you keep making that investment, all you're doing is delaying the alligators or appeasing the alligators, hoping to get eaten last. It is a failed strategy. It's never going to work. All you're doing is delaying the process. But eventually, you're building her up for me. And once you freshen her up, giving her the BBL, paying for various surgery, I would step in. Thank you, my friend. So be quick to cut your losses, state your principles, and be willing to come through. In fact, you're doing yourself a disservice when you end the opposite direction. But by standing on your ground, you're saving yourself emotional ruin in the future. In fact, is it better you have the emotional ruin now, or when you've over leveraged, over invested, and you're too old to be valued in the sexual marketplace because every single thing that would have been invested in yourself was turned outward. It's a decision you have to make for yourself. Respect yourself. Go to the gym. Work hard. Eat right. And you'll be fine. As always, my friends, it's a pleasure speaking to you. I'll see you in the next one.